right.
We're live.
We're live? What? You have that crazy... I don't want to see me. Do you know what you have on the second screen here, Eddie? You're like taking up the whole screen with a picture of me.
Oh.
It should have just started. Did it not start?
Just turn it on and it'll come on.
I forgot to press the button.
Hold
so
on.
It didn't have the countdown.
Oh, did
But
it?
it's good now.
What happened?
Okay, we're good.
I don't know.
Should be good.
Okay, you got it under control, Danny? Yeah, see, we're professional today, like always. Welcome! Hello! Welcome to another episode of Shenanigans with Brent and Becky. Today, we have the OG Becky with us.
What does OG mean?
Original gangster.
Oh.
You guys didn't know that? When they talk about like the OG rappers, like the OG, that's the original gangster.
No.
You guys never knew that?
No.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
hear me out there? They
Ye-
kicked me out. I'm on the other
No,
side.
you could come in here anytime.
And Becky was like, little Becky was just like, let's just do it with OG Becky.
What
With
does that
OG
make
Becky.
me?
Because it'd be confusing, too many Beckys at once. But anyway, so welcome to another episode. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so you won't be seeing me for a month, and I bet a lot of you are excited about that.
Gene and John are on. We
Yes, haven't seen them forever.
ages.
Um,
Hi, Gene. Hi, John.
so I guess we'll just get right into shop news. The sci-fi quilt, I think we may have shown it off before.
We don't have it in here.
But
Oh,
we
wait.
hung it up, so I can't show what the quilt looks like. But here's what the pattern looks like. And Eddie's gonna...
What is that noise?
It's the people next door. So this quilt, this picture on this pattern is not doing it justice. You should come into the shop and see this made up. It is a gorgeous quilt. We have 6
Can you
kits
get
available.
closer on that? Because it really is gorgeous.
We have 6 kits available. And they're going to be $174.95 each. But it's fairly large. It comes out to 82 by 109. So it's a good size quilt. Like I said, I don't think the picture doesn't do it justice. That fabric just came in. We have the sample all done up. We might have shown it a couple times before we got it quilted, but we have it hung up now. Gorgeous quilt. We have 6 kits available. It should be available online before the day's out. Like I said, it's $174 or $175, but we're going to say $174.95 because it looks better. We like the 95 cents. There's that. The other thing that just came in, and Brenda has been busy working on it, is the Seasons of the Sun Quilt. Now, we kind of showed a preview of the fabric. Well, it was coming in, and we had a picture of it, but I can tell you that the picture, everything about this does not do it justice until you actually see it. This is a gorgeous quilt. We have kits available on this. Kits on this are going to be right around $130. But it's just really beautiful.
You can see how big it is too.
Yes.
It covers both of us.
Seasons of the Sun. So this will be available. All this just came in last week. The later part of last week, Brenda has been busy sewing to get this done for us. So we do have, like I said, there are kits available. It's going to be $130 for kits on that. If you are interested, you want to grab that kit because the kit takes 4.5 yards of that border print. So what you're going to find is, if you are interested in that kit or the way that looks,
Do you have a shorter stool or something?
It's all right.
it takes 4.5 yards of the border print. So if you like that, what you're going to find is I'm going to be out of that border print after we sell about 6 of those kits. I think we planned it out for 6 kits, and we've already got 3 of them spoken for. So that border print is going to be the first thing to go.
On the side,
The size on that is
right at the bottom, 60.
Well, he's looking for
70 by 80.
Well,
So-
he's looking for the size. There's enough border print left over that you could actually make the 60-degree table runner, which they're going to try to find all the information
Yes.
on that and put that together so you can...
Well, that's actually not left over. Is that left over from that?
I
There
thought
might
it
be.
was.
There might be. Well, the piece that you saw that I was showing you,
That was the
that
end.
was the end of the first bolt.
Right, so
After
we
the
had
first
a little
3
bit,
kits were cut.
yeah. So
So yes, in the 60-degree runners, we do have the 60-degree rulers in here now. And if you ever see the 60-degree runners, it's going to make a beautiful runner, and that's probably going to show that off. I don't know if we'll do it next week because I won't be here to make it, but that's a great idea. So that's that, and the only other thing we got for shop news is we have the reading pillow workshop that we're going to be doing this Saturday. Again, we're billing it as a workshop more than a class because the idea is we're going to help you make it, but it's not going to be super awesome instructions. It's going to be like bring your stuff in and between the bunch of us, we get it done.
Us. He's not even here.
Well, it's the proverbial we.
It's the Four Pines Quilting Group.
Yes. So that's this Saturday.
You.
No, I'm not even.
I already talked to Brent about it. It's not a surprise to her. To everybody else, maybe. But yeah, that's going to be this Saturday. We should have a pattern available if you're interested. It's basically with embroidery, but it's not going to be like this super in-depth. It's going to be more, because we have a half a dozen people or so that are actually halfway through making these, and we keep getting people coming in. Will you help me do this? Will you help me finish it? So the idea behind the workshop was just come in, and and the focus of the day is reading pillows, and we'll all stumble through it together. Mm-hmm. It'll be fun. And if it gets screwed up, we'll all screw up the same, so it'll be right. Because we'll be uniform in our mess-ups. We have a dream machine and a luminaire on the floor. If you're interested, call sooner than later. Even though I'll be on vacation, there'll be plenty of help here to make sure that you can take that home. And I think I've got a couple people coming in this weekend that might be looking at it. So if you're interested, be on top of that, because I don't think they're going to last much longer. That being said, that's pretty much all I have for shop news. Did I forget anything, Eddie? Eddie?
It says no ums.
I know, that's why I just said it, because I was pointing to it.
He had his own
Oh, we do. I just got the bill, too, for a really cool Halloween collection. It is a Brent Halloween collection. So,
that means it's not something Becky's gonna.
That is correct. But if you are a true Halloween fan, you will probably like it.
Is it glow in the dark?
I don't think this one glows in the dark. But anyway, that's on its way in. I just got the bill for it. And the other thing I want to say in shop news, come buy fabric. We're getting a lot of fabric in because the great COVID drought of not getting fabric is coming in. And and honestly, if you like fabric, if you like to see new fabric and you want us to keep getting fabric, you need to come in and buy the fabric. Because otherwise we'll be like, yeah, fabric's not moving, so we're going to slow down. And that's not nearly as exciting because then you don't get stuff every month. You're going to get stuff every 3 months.
Ooh,
And
yes.
see, yeah, so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
order online or come in store.
That just means you're ordering the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, did I say that?
well, no, that's
That could be true.
it. Could be true,
It could be true.
but I hope
We're
that's
not always
I hope that's
here.
not true because I also checked before I sat down. We do have the Lori Holt Prairie case pack. That is slated to ship in July, so we will probably be seeing it near the end of this month, end of June, first part of July.
Yeah, Lori
Yeah.
Holt rocks it. She's like one of
Yes.
the top designers right now.
Yes, are we doing quiz
I
time?
think that would be a lot nicer than sci-fi. Lori Holt.
Well, yeah, but sci-fi.
That's
is still...
me. That's me. That's why I'm not here any longer because I like the Lori
This
Holt
is why it's coming in.
But speaking of that, are we doing quiz time today?
Becky, you gonna do quiz time?
Oh, no, I thought we were doing spinning
We're
wheel.
doing spin the wheel?
Oh, we're doing.
Oh, I
spin
guess
the
we're doing
wheel.
spin the wheel. So,
Spin the wheel.
So that means from quiz time that our Lori Holt segues nicely into quilt of the week.
Perfect. Spinning wheel goes round
Whoops.
and round. Tell them what the spinning wheel is. Gene and John might not know.
As you make comments, Eddie adds you to the spinning wheel, and then at the end of the
You're
show,
gonna
we spin the
randomize
wheel.
it this week, though, right, Eddie?
What?
You're gonna randomize those names.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's keeping track of them right
Oh
now.
yeah, it has to.
Who's
Isn't that cute?
So
You think?
No, it's not mine.
It's
Cheryl's
I
no.
just like it.
Cheryl did this, and we thought this would be a great quilt of the week because this was the last Lori Holt project.
It's the chicken quilt.
And so we will have the new one coming in, but we just thought this was a great quilt of the week because it kind of gives you an idea of
I love
what to
it.
expect with Lori Holt. So if you are interested, we are going to, like I said, that's going to be in July, the Lori Holt stuff. This is, like I said, quilt of the week, Cheryl. It's fantastic.
Cheryl, mine's still in
And
the
if you're
box.
watching, Cheryl, we'll be mailing it your way probably sooner than later because now it's done.
So cute.
But this is what the Lori Holt looks like, and that's what's coming in July.
It
And
has
there's
the Lori Holt back
And show the
Yes,
backing.
we have. She even has backing, everything.
Show the backing.
We have the backing.
Show
She
the
has all
backing.
We already
kinds of
have the
stuff.
backing,
I
don't
know
we?
you gotta show
Yeah.
it.
You gotta show it off, 'cause
Look
it's
at how
beautiful.
cute it is.
It-
It matches the
It
chickens.
comes in 2 different colorways.
Yes.
Yep.
Do we have both colorways?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Red
okay.
and a blue.
It's so
So you can
beautiful.
actually buy this backing if you like. You can buy it online right now, today, at this moment. If you go to fourpinesquilting.com.
Yeah, to get you, to cover the back of your Lori Holt quilt.
Well, we're gonna be doing that Prairie one.
Oh, that's gonna be so pretty.
So yes, that's the that's quilt of the week. But that's what the Lori Holt stuff that's coming in July is going to be similar. I mean, same designer. So all of you that are excited about that one, yes, come in and buy that because I just saw what that's going to cost us. So get excited about it.
I'll take the price.
Well, you got
if I
2
pay for it.
sold.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. Let me see. Any good comments? Do I have to pay attention to comments?
Harassing you.
It's harassing. That's
Yeah.
normal.
See, Lori Holt over sci-fi.
I know, but that sci-fi.
I like
but
'em both.
but that sci-fi quilt is really nice.
I know,
And
but
you
I'm
don't-
just
You have
saying,
people for that.
Yeah.
You have people for
it's
Lori.
I
okay.
know.
We love you.
I'm
Oh,
just
I don't know
saying,
about you
it's,
guys, but
it's
I love
easier
you.
to it's easier to find Lori Holt than a
put up
sci-fi
with
quilt. Anyway, it's here. Come buy it. Come buy all the fabric so we can keep buying stuff. So I have enough money when Lori Holt comes in to pay for that. Anyway.
That won't stick around.
Oh, I'm not. And we have all sorts of plans. So if you've been watching this for Frosty and all the embroidery funness that's happening there, the Lori Holt Prairie quilt. If you go online and check it out, we're going to be doing.
I told you to get a photo of that.
I know, and I was looking, but you can like.
Maybe can you find a Lori Prairie quilt?
We are going to be
She's
doing
a sew along.
There's a sew along, yes, but you're going to be doing the embroidery bits.
Yeah.
Because I know we had a lot of people interested. For those that have been watching us and have been finding us and been like, "Wow, this is fun," and watching the Frosty was kind of a trial run.
Trial run.
So we weren't really prepared to figure out how to sell this to everybody on the internet, and there's all sorts of
And 5 is being released.
yes.
Today.
Oh, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that goes on with something like that when it comes to the digitizing and making sure that everybody's appropriately compensated. Because one of our big things around here is we want to make sure that the artists, the original artists, that we're not stepping on their toes. The way we decided to do that with Frosties is if you bought the Frosty kit, then obviously the artist was taken care of. So we really weren't able to roll this out on a national scale because we didn't really plan for it this way. Whereas if you're watching now and you really liked what we did with Frosty and you like Lori Holt, we're going to do something very similar with the Lori Holt. But to get the files and to be part of all that, you need to buy the kit from us. That's how we make sure that Lori Holt gets her piece of the pie because
Right.
we want to make sure that her as a designer and artist is compensated for the great fabric and the great work that she put in and for the patterns and everything. But on the same side of that, we got to make sure that Becky gets sorted because she's going through all that trouble. And Danny,
Look at it. It's so beautiful.
because they're going to go through
Isn't that
Oh, it's
pretty?
we're going to be doing
gorgeous.
a lot of work to get that digitized.
Look at that. quilt.
So if you're
And
interested in doing that in machine quilting, you're going to want to buy your kit from us so then we can give you the files.
And we're going to cut it.
Yes.
It's going to be electronic.
Oh, we're
You're
going
going
to
to have the cutting patterns too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So if you're interested in that,
I am. Put my name
You were
down.
gonna
Where's
know
the
that-
list?
we're going to start a list for it. But keep in mind that our kit price is also going to be a little bit higher than everybody else online because of the extra work that we're going to be putting into it. Because, like I said, a big thing that we like to make sure of around here is that this is a creative industry. And one of the problems that you find with creatives, people, and artists, it's very hard to make sure that everybody gets paid because it's, I grew up in the days of Napster and I remember downloading songs. And it's one of those things is like, well, they've got to get paid. Like Eddie does music. I'll use that as a great example. He does some interesting music and it's not for everybody. I'll be the first to admit it, but it's good stuff. But the problem is, how do you get paid if you're going to be an artist? And then one of the things that we like to make sure of is that everybody that's involved in the artistic process to make these crafts available for us is covered. And so that's my spiel on don't photocopy patterns. That's bad.
Yeah,
don't-
No, I'm not not trying.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying there's a lot that goes in because you see that a lot in the shop. In fact, I got rid of our copier because I was sick of people, hey, can you make me a copy of this? No, I don't have a copier anymore.
There you go.
But copying patterns, because anybody that wants to photocopy a pattern that wasn't put out on the internet for free, because some people do it for free we've got a few free ones, go write a pattern.
Oh.
I will tell you right now, make up your own quilt and then go write a pattern, and then you'll understand the amount of work.
I don't have the creative juices, but I love
Yeah.
digitizing other people's
Yeah.
creativity.
But writing out the directions for it is a whole nother thing. Making it to the point where you can pick it up and do something with it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and we just want to make sure that everybody involved gets properly compensated so they continue to do it. So we have stuff to make. Anyway, that was my rant. I'm hoping that I didn't bore you all to death.
Well, we're on track because you always have one rant.
Rant, okay. Well, usually Becky's here to slap me and keep me on line. Okay, so we did.
well,
So now we're on to you said you had a turbo
You
tap,
want to throw out something?
or do you just want to move that into the main segment?
I'll move that into the main
Okay,
segment.
so then I guess that just brings us to the workbench. Yay! Look, I love my graphic. I get a little workbench graphic. Yeah. All right, so workbench today. I know we've talked about this probably a million different times in a million different segments, but one of the things I wanted to do was give this its own segment so Eddie can chop it out and make this easy for y'all to refer back to. What we're going to talk about is thread size, because that's pretty generic.
I always like it when you talk about size.
That was the wrong one. It was supposed to be that's what she said.
That's what she
There
said.
you go. Okay. One of the things, because just quick, right off the top, one of the things we get, your basic thread sizes is 50 weight and 40 weight. That's what most people are using. And I just wanted to do a quick refresher on this because I get this question a lot. You've got really fine thread. I don't know if it's going to come through. I'm just going to show you the spools because the difference in thread is very minuscule. But you've got stuff like 100 weight thread. 100 weight thread is very fine. The higher the number of thread, the smaller it is. So 100 weight is about as thin as you can get and still work with it on your machine. You usually see it in silk or poly. It's very rare that you will ever find this in cotton because cotton is not a strong enough fiber to handle 100 weight. What?
Jeannie wants to know what little Becky said.
Well,
That's what she said.
yeah. Little Becky was talking about how she likes to talk about size. And we're just going to leave that there. And we'll let Brian pick the slack up on that one later today. So 100 weight thread, we do have this. It's great for miniatures. Mom, you like 100 weight thread, right? You've used it a lot.
I like to use it when I use my embroidery machine to quilt wall hangings. It comes out beautifully because most of the wall hangings that I make are actually pieced. There are not a lot of applique ones, so I don't want heavy thread on it. And I love using my machine for quilting on, like you guys do with Becky. And when you make a wall hanging that's like 12 by 12 or 18 by 12 or whatever, it's just perfect for that because you can use your magnetic hoop and you use the Invisafil or the 100 weight thread. You can hardly even see the thread on your quilting and your wall hanging looks beautiful.
And so that's kind of what 100 weight thread is Invisafil is what this brand is called, but that really sums up what it's good for. It disappears. You can get it in a variety of colors. You usually just kind of match it to the generic background. But 100 weight is to disappear. It's thread that you don't want to see. If you're doing miniatures and you want like these really, really minuscule seam allowances, you don't have to. You can use really tiny needles with it. We'll get into needle size later. But 100 weight thread has a very specific purpose, usually for decorative stuff. Yes.
Do you use the same weight in the bobbin?
I use pre-wound bobbins of DecoBob. So the bobbin part doesn't, it's the same thing I always use because the back of it isn't like critical to me.
What's the weight on the DecoBob?
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, that's,
I'm just wondering.
it's
I
80.
always thought when you quilted
It's 70.
that you had to match the weight
Threads?
of your thread.
No, if I'd
Yeah.
known I was doing this, I could have brought some of them. I do them all the time.
Yes. So DecoBob, great segue. You guys are just working right into this, almost like I wrote a
I don't know if
script.
they can hear my
But
Yeah.
DecoBob is 80 weight. And 80 weight, and you're going to find most of your pre-wound bobbins and bobbin-specific threads are going to be anywhere from 60 weight to 80 weight. So Fine's bottom line is a 60 weight, and Wonderfil's DecoBob is an 80 weight. Let me see if you guys can see
You
this.
can hold that one.
Well, I'm going to hold them both because Eddie has it zoomed in, and I want to see if you can actually see the
Hold
difference
spool for you.
in the size. You can
You
kind of
can see it. Yeah.
So that top thread there, that's Invisafil. The bottom 100 weight. Bottom thread is DecoBob, which is 80 weight. So it's a little bit heavier. So it's going to be a little bit stronger. One thing to keep in mind if you're using a 100 weight thread as well is shorten your stitch length. It'll make the stitch the stitch will be a little bit stronger. So 100 weight, you want to shorten your stitch length. With the 80 weight is almost exclusively used for bobbin thread, is what most people market it as. You can use it for top stitching. If you don't want to use an Invisafil, you want something a little bit lighter that's going to disappear a little bit, but not quite as much as Invisafil, you can use some 80 weight. But like I said, 80 weight is usually a bobbin thread, and like I said, you will see the So Fine 60 weight is also used as a bobbin thread. So that's that thread. So like I said, as the number goes down, the thread is getting thicker. The other thing you will see, I don't have any here because we don't carry a lot of 60 weight. You can also use, the other thing that DecoBob works good for because it's 80 weight is lettering when you're embroidering. If you're doing really tiny letters, you want a finer thread so that you get better detail. 80 weight is good for that, or a 60 weight. In fact, Floriani's micro thread, I believe, is a 60 weight. So 80 to 60 is really good for embroidery on fine lettering. Now we're going to get into the thread everybody uses. Yes?
John has a question.
Yes.
John asks, will the 100 weight tend to break in your quilt?
I can talk about that.
I will say from a long arm standpoint, yes. That's why I won't use Invisafil for the most part anymore in the long arm because it does tend to break. You can tune it, but it's not worth it. A lot of times if somebody wants something that's Invisafil, I'm going to go to DecoBob an 80 weight instead of 100 weight just because it's going to, finished products is fairly close. The difference in thread breaking on a long arm is night and day between 180 weight thread.
When I use it for machine quilting on my Luminaire, I make sure that if the pattern has a lot of overlapping stuff on it, I slow my machine down because that really cuts back on the breaking. But if it's just a real kind of meandering thing that has no detail in it, then I kind of just leave it where it's set.
Yeah.
But if it does start to break, I just make sure I have a nice needle in it that's for embroidery and that I slow it down a little bit. But that's my go-to. In fact, when I left here, I don't know how long ago, I made sure that I had all the colors of Invisafil for my quilting on my wall hangings that are small because I just love how they look when I'm done with them like that.
Yes, so it will break. That is something to keep in mind. You will have to slow things down if you're using Invisafil. And if, like I said, if you're piecing with it, I usually don't run into breakage when you're piecing with it, but you do want to shorten your stitch length so that you have a little bit more strength there. All right, so those are kind of your two specialty threads that you're going to see. You're going to see on occasion. And if you're looking at Invisafil, you know you're looking for Invisafil. The 80 weight stuff is usually bobbin thread. So anytime you're looking at pre-wound bobbins, a lot of times they're going to tend to be in that 80 weight range. Now we're going to get to the thread that everybody uses, or most everybody.
I use DecoBob for everything.
You can use DecoBob for everything.
Yeah.
But the other thing you're gonna find
Even when you're embroidering.
Oh no, I meant for any kind of piecing. I do not use cotton. I always use DecoBob.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
I love the seams that I get from piecing with DecoBob.
DecoBob. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, so this brings up a very interesting point. So you can use DecoBob for piecing as well. The difference is, and I think the reason that most people stick to 50 weight cotton, or 50 weight Aurifil is the go-to piecing thread. That's what I've got here, 50 weight Aurifil. The reason I think that Aurifil is going to outdo DecoBob is you cannot get, if you get cotton much lighter than 50 weight, it's going to be very sketchy when it comes to a strength standpoint. You're going to get a lot of breaks. 50 weight is about is about as far as you're going to get on cotton, which is probably, I don't know anybody that makes an 80 weight cotton. And any of the 60 weights I've ever seen are at least are usually cottonized poly. They're not actual cotton. So when you get to 50 weight, that the reason that Aurifil I think sells so well is because it's one of the only 100% cotton 50 weights out there that's really nice to work with. And this is what most people use to piece with. Is people come in looking for piecing thread. We're gonna point them towards Aurifil 50 weight. And this is kind of the go-to piecing. You can embroider with it. We did talk about this a couple weeks ago about embroidering with this, but you want to change your stitch density and a few other things. 50 weight is great for piecing. I would not recommend it for all-purpose embroidery. And just to show, if Eddie wants to zoom in on this, because we'll show the other thing to keep in mind. I don't know, can you see that, Eddie? Down right there. I don't know if you can see the difference. So again, top thread is going to be 80 weight, bottom thread is 50 weight. The difference is not quite as stark as you get between 100 and 80, but you can see that the 50 is a little bit thicker. And I was just going to say something about that, and I totally lost my train of thought. But 50 weight is kind of the go-to piecing thread that a lot of people will go to because you can get it in 100% cotton, and it's some good stuff. Oh, the other thing I was going to talk about is when you do see thread, there's sometimes on the back, like this, on this you're going to see there's a 50/2. There's two numbers that you have. 50 weight is 50 weight is kind of a generic, every 50 weight is going to be about the same. But Aurifil you might find to be a little bit lighter than, say, like a Gutermann 50 weight. Reason being is it's a 2-strand versus a 3-strand. So the strands are a little bit different. That's going to be, that's a minor difference, like I said. So if you do see two 50 weight threads that they don't look to be the same width, it's probably because it's got a different strand count. They're all going to be fairly similar in weight because the weight itself is measured by the 50, but the strand count, the difference in strand count will give threads a little bit different appearance. So yes, that 50 weight is going to be your generic piecing. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to talk to today because Aurifil is awesome. I'm going to teach you all a secret. This is Aurifil 40 weight. What's the difference between these two combs?
10.
Red.
One in green and
Yeah, one is orange and one is green.
Oh,
It's orange, red. Yeah, it's orange. Aurifil color codes their threads. So if you're looking for 50 weight, it's always going to be on an orange spool.
yeah, but I never remember which color is what weight.
And if you're going to do a 40 weight, it's going to be green. Green means go.
What color
When
is
you're
the
when you're ready to embroider on your embroidery machine, what color is the button? It's green. So it's green as embroidery thread. Again, this is just going to be the same. These are the same color. This is a white, just a 40 weight. 40 weight, you can still piece with 40 weight. Difference in 40 weight versus 50 weight. You can still piece with 40 weight. A lot of people prefer the 50 weight because, like I said, a little bit lighter. The other difference, so again, top is 50, bottom is 40. You can almost kind of see that coming through there. The other big thing to keep in mind about 40 weight, and this is the thing to keep in mind, if you ever buy Aurifil, they all come on the same size spool. And just to understand the difference, on a 50 weight spool, you're getting 1,300 meters. On a 40 weight spool, they're going to be the identical size. The bottom is the identical size. You're only getting 1,000 meters. So that gives you an idea of the difference in size. It's not huge, but you're a math teacher. What's the difference percentage-wise between 1,300 and 1,000? It's like 30%, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting 30% more on a 50 weight spool than you are on a 40 weight spool. And the price is usually about the same. That's why price doesn't change a lot of times on Aurifil. The spool is the same whether it's 40 weight or 50 weight. You're just getting less thread. By weight, they're probably going to weigh the same. The spools are both going to weigh the same. They're both going to be the same diameter, but you're going to get less thread because it's a thicker thread. And that's why people like 50 weight, you get more per spool. And it's also finer. The finer the thread, the better your seam, the more accurate your seam allowance. 40 weight is your default size thread for embroidery. Almost every embroidery pattern is programmed to use 40 weight thread. So the density of the pattern is to use 40 weight, which is why if you come to our shop, we have real basic colors in the 50 weight. It's going to be white, color 2000, which is light sand, a gray, and a black. Just some basic neutrals, because most people are using 50 weight for piecing. You come to the shop, we have a ton of colors in the 40 weight, because 40 weight gets used for embroidery patterns. So we want to have a wider selection of colors because you need more than black and white to embroider things. You might find, and I don't know if that's true for all shops, but you're probably going to find more variety of colors in 40 weight versus a 50 weight or even the lighter 100 weights or 80 weights, because you only need generic kind of neutral colors at the height if you're piecing. Whereas once you start getting into decorative stuff, you're going to want different colors. And any questions so far? Am I boring everybody to death?
The boring. boring.
All right, so that's the. I just wanted to cover. And then you can.
I would hit him, Becky, make him move on.
And-
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm like looking at the time. I'm like,
Okay,
okay.
The last thing I'm saying is you can get lighter. This is Aurifil. I didn't open it up because I don't need to. But if you notice, the color of the spool is gray. This is Aurifil. Gray is 28 weight.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah, and as a general rule of thumb, I think was it 8 that you can get down to and still have, or 12 or 12. I think 12
will go in your machine.
12 is as heavy as you can get for thread to still have it go. As you get heavier, if you're trying to simulate handwork, just get a heavier thread. But the thing to keep in mind is 40 weight for decorative and embroidery, and 50 and above for your piecing. And I'm going to probably leave it there because you're all getting bored.
No, Jean likes your conversation.
What's
Yeah.
it 28 for?
28 is going to be, well, for example, when Becky was doing her frosty and you wanted the edges of that to look like it was done by hand, like hand appliqued, use a heavier thread because the heavier thread is going to show up a lot more. So it will look like it was, if you do a blanket stitch with a heavier thread on your machine, it looks like you did it by hand.
Yeah.
But as the threads get heavier, once you get below 40 weight thread, it is a decorative thread. You want that thread to show up on what you're doing. So that's why you're going to see way more colors in heavier threads because you really want to see, you're buying the thread because you want to see the thread. 50 weight and above, generally speaking, you don't want to see the thread.
See, and I cheaped out and just did 50 twice
Yeah,
because I already had it.
yeah. And how did it come out? Did it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to run the stitch twice.
Yeah, and so and because you want a thicker looking stitch, so you run thinner thread twice, and that's a good technique as well. But keep in mind, like I said, below 40 weight is probably as low as I would go if you're piecing, and even there it's kind of iffy because it's 40 weight. But you can piece with 40 weight. But anything below that is decorative, and you're not going to want to piece with it. That's just kind of a general rule of thumb. You're going to, like I said, 50. 50 is as high as you can go, smallest you can go weight-wise and still be in cotton. Once you get above 50 weight cotton, 50 weight, you're probably not going to see it in cotton unless it's a real specialty thread. Yes, you do need a bigger needle for a 28 thread. I'm not going to get into needle size because I've bored you all enough with thread, but you, when you're sizing your needle, the two things you have to do account for is the project, how thick you're going through, and then also account for the thickness of your thread. So needle size, yes, you definitely need to change your needle. And this is why me and Becky have the disagreement about 9014 being the greatest needle ever made. Because 9014 is pretty forgiving. You can put just about any thread you want through it. But Becky makes a good case for doing the appropriate needle size. But anyway.
Whatever works.
Yes, the Aurifil Gray Spool is going to be the 28. I think they also have another one, I think a 12 weight that we don't carry. Because again, you're getting into real specialty stuff when you get that thick of a thread. But anyway, I've had coffee with lunch, I'm not bored. That's good. Okay, that's all I had today for the workbench. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to put all that thread info in one easy to see segment so that you can wow your friends with all your thread knowledge and stuff. And share, like, share and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
FCS.
Yes, they do use 28 for embroidery. Probably for hand embroidery, you'll see like the DMC floss and stuff like that is going to be a much lighter weight. So yeah, as you get down to like 28, 20, 12 weight thread, you start to get into handwork with that stuff. And you all know that I have an allergy to handwork, which is why I'm not going below 28. Anyway, that's all I've got for the workbench.
Talk to you about that.
Oh, what about my
Yeah.
allergy?
About handwork. Yeah, about your allergy.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
would-
maybe.
I-
Let me tell you
I was
some other
I was
things
waiting for the
about it.
inappropriate comment about handwork, but I
Okay.
All right then.
Okay, I think we should move right along from there. So I recognized this morning that Brent drives to McDonald's on a regular basis in Newport because he tries to change his voice, and the girl right away said, "Oh, I know that's you," she said. And I thought, "You come here every day?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, kind of," because I said I just wanted a breakfast sandwich. And then he said, "That was my cartoon voice."
My cartoon announcer.
Or my cartoon announcer voice, which I thought was pretty funny. But he actually did it when you guys start. You know, and he has that "hello, how are you" kind of stuff.
That's my that hello. That's a reference to a Seinfeld episode. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
Hello. Do you know any Seinfeld fans? Hello.
Yes.
There's a whole episode about that.
And that's what I'm talking about.
That's,
Okay.
that's what you're talking about.
All right, so I'm gonna hand it over to the OG Becky now that I've rambled on for way longer than I should have.
Yeah, well, whatever. We're used to that. So I haven't been here for a while. I think it's pretty exciting that you actually do this every week, and I know that it's challenging. So you really do need to do that, like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, because
And-
I saw my niece's channel. She has like thousands of subscribers and viewers, and all she does is talk about tractors.
Hashtag. We just don't have the right hashtag.
Okay.
Right. Well, she did learn a lot about that, and that's another whole nother story. But I thought I should probably talk to them about how they can get more people to watch, because she was really struggling. She started her channel when she was in college, and then after she graduated, what she does is she actually goes around to farms in the Midwest and interviews farmers and goes on out with the farmers and ranchers and all kinds of people. And she goes through the whole process. Right now she's harvesting from Oklahoma up to Minnesota.
Yes, Gene, I am happy we have 10 viewers. I'm not complaining.
I want to hear about the farmers in Oklahoma.
Well, it's just she's on a harvesting crew right now. And so
That's cool.
when she takes a job, she requires them to allow her to do her YouTube channel. And as a result of that, she has these incredible, I don't know how she did it. She actually interviewed 2 farmers that have a great following, and they hashtagged her. And all of those 2 farmers really helped her out, those farms, Larson Farms and Millennial Farmer. And after she did them, she had over 1,000 followers. And so then she was able to monetize.
Oh, so we need a hashtag is what you're telling me?
Well, when she first started doing it, she did one. She says, I don't have any followers. And I said to her, well, what tractor are you talking about? I said, put that in the hashtag. And then she had a lot more followers. And so I think that's a very key thing. Like when you guys are going to do the Lori Holt thing, you need to use Lori Holt as a hashtag. And
But
say,
wait, isn't hashtag a Twitter thing?
It's like an internet thing now, I think.
yeah.
I don't know.
But I said, you need to be able to Google it.
I don't know.
But that isn't what I came here to talk about.
I know.
Because Brent said to me, you're going to have to be on the show. You're the special guest. And I said, I know I'm special. I was part of the person that started this whole thing.
You are?
So one of the things that I like to do is when Brent and I used to go to Quilt Market every year for a long time together. And after we moved to Twin Falls, I took all these things with me. And then I started moving them in the house about 2 weeks ago. They were out in the garage in a special spot, because you have special places for these things that you love. And one of the kits that came in was this one right here. It's called Letters Home. And I said, oh, I think I really want to make that, because when you go to Quilt Market, you can actually just buy these kits of this stuff, and then you can say, oh, I want to do that. And so now, no, you cannot get this. I have no idea if it even is still out there. This is 2014 we're talking, okay? So then I said,
So even you have a stash.
I have a stash that's unbelievable. So Eddie, I'm just going to use the table, if that's okay. So in this little book right here, I guess I'm not going to use that anymore, but that's okay. You have these blocks that are very interesting, and I look at them and I'm like, do you realize that, can you get close to that one? I don't know how close you could get. Oh, that's right, you said you can't do that one close.
Are you going to do that one? You're going to have to turn it around now.
Okay. I'm not good at this, sorry you guys. They actually
Neither
do
are we,
this.
we just make
They
this up.
actually do this whole thing with half square triangles. All of them are half square triangles. See that block right there? And I'm like, I am not wasting my time making a whole bunch of half square triangles when that's half of your square right there, right?
Right.
So let's go to this page right here. This is the one I did yesterday.
Let's zoom out a little bit, Eddie.
Right there? Okay, they wanted you to put 4 half square triangles for your square and a square, and make your flying geese with half square triangles. Come on. So today I said, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to take a look at today's block. See, when I come here, I like to sew. So this one, they like to make the flying geese where you have your 2.5 and your 4.5, and you make the square and you cut off the corner. I personally do not like to do that because you don't get really nice points when you do that. So then I said, you can make 4 flying geese at a time with a 5 1/4 inch square. So you're saying, well, where are you going to find that? So I went when Pinterest first came out, Brent said, we need a Pinterest page. So I started one under my name, Fun at Four Pines Quilting. And I have some really good stuff in there, and people actually follow it and take things from me. So then Danny says, well, I think that Four Pines Quilting has a Pinterest page. So we looked it up. People don't go to that page until we clean it up. I said to Brent, I need to clean that up. And I'll put my stuff
Yeah,
that's
don't. Why'd you even bring it up?
because, you know, that's one of the things that Emma talks about. Emma, who has her YouTube channel, she's like, yeah, don't do that yet, but we're going to take care of it. And she follows through with that. So one of the things that you can do is
John's onto something. Hashtag little Becky. We gotta put an underscore in there. But anyway.
So then he says,
Maybe toes and feet.
Yeah, Lil Becky.
Yeah.
You'd be a rapper.
Lil Becky.
Lil Becky feet.
little big me.
Foot fetish guy.
So,
I bet you there's more.
so the thing I just Googled the no waste flying geese cutting chart. So in the Four Pines Quilting Pinterest page that we're going to get going before I leave, I hope, we're going to start putting these pages in there because then you can go right to them and you can find them. So there's actually a sheet that you can get and it has all the different sizes listed and then you just cut what you need. And so I just took my pattern and I said, okay, I need 4 flying geese with this. You can see them on the other page. And I need 4 flying geese with the other one. I'm not sure about doing this. See, you guys are pros at
You
this.
just gotta sit still.
Sit still. Eddie finds you.
Okay.
Stop moving.
So I said, I'm just going to go ahead and take my pattern and write over here what it is that I need. And we, of course, know about Becky's super duper turbo tip with the erasable pen, because now when I go home, I just iron my page. I do that all the time. Woo-hoo! And those are gone. And so then my friend, and then I was thinking about Brent here, said, don't copy things. And my friend Jackie said, can I have a copy of that? And I said to her, no, I'll give it to you when I'm done. I'm never making this again. So if that's how you feel about some of these things, I have no problem doing that. And I thought, because I'm never making this again, right? So that was basically what I was going to do. I can show you how I was going to cut them out and how they go together. I don't know. Do we have time for that? Or should I keep talking about that?
All the time you have.
Okay. So
This is our 500 subscriber episode special, so you can go for
That's why
hours.
Brent should never go first. He takes up all the time.
that's okay. So I have, let's go to this completely now. So this particular block takes this cream fabric, this yellow fabric. I should put them in order, right? And this purple right here. So then I said, okay, I picked those all out. And I need, it says here, cut 8, 2.5 by 2.5. The other thing these are the little corners of my flying geese. I always cut them a little bit bigger. If you look at the chart, it says to cut them 2 7/8. Well, I'm going to go for 3 because I would much rather trim something and make it perfect than try to stretch it to make it the right size.
Yeah, I do the picture ready.
So,
Make it more interesting to watch.
yeah, make it more interesting to watch. Okay, quick.
I'm just saying because you can see some of the corner, so I can make faces.
But
at
you
the
know,
Made a good
when Emma does hers, we'll talk about Emma now, the professional YouTuber in our family.
end. Yeah, but
she
Jean
does not do live. She edits everything. She goes through a whole thing and she edits
I'm
it.
too lazy to edit.
And then she,
I don't want to see my edited version.
right, but I'm just saying that's what she does a lot of times.
But Jean is bringing up a really good point that you should always pre-read your pattern so you can see how to what you can change to make it easier.
Yes.
Because you have to keep in mind when people write patterns, they're trying to keep the writing process simple. So some of the things, like I've seen patterns, like a block of the month we're using, actually says, make flying geese according to the Quilt in a Day version. Because they don't want to go through the trouble of trying to explain how to make a flying geese pattern. So always, yes, pre-read your patterns for sure. And that'll help give you an idea. As you do more quilting, you'll know better techniques once you understand what you're doing.
Okay, I've just said that. So I need 4 3-inch. And
My
I'm like,
favorite way to do half squares and flying geese is through triangulation.
yes. And that's what this book is doing, because they're like, well, let's just make a whole bunch of half square triangles and put them together, and then you'll get your square in the square, you'll get your flying geese, you'll get everything that you need. So here's my corners of my flying geese right here. And I think I need 4.
Now, is this, then you got the information for this off of your little cheat sheet on your Pinterest?
Yes,
Or not,
well,
and not out of
it's
the
in
book?
it's in Fun at Four Pines under Becky. So if you want to go to Becky Furlan and follow that one, it's in there. But our plan, after Danny and I had a discussion, was that we're going to actually fix the Four Pines Quilting actual. Go ahead and look and see what Brent thinks is great for
I-
No,
Pinterest.
don't tell people. We talked about
I
that.
just put weird stuff up because I don't.
I don't think you've touched it in like
I
5
haven't.
years.
Because when I would start all this, everybody would look at me like I'm crazy when I'm trying to do that. I'm just like, I don't have time for it, so I stopped bothering. And now all of a sudden, y'all caught up with me. I was ahead of the curve, and I have
Yeah,
now moved on.
it's okay.
So
yeah.
5 years from now, nobody's going to care because that's where I'm at with it. So if I'm that far ahead of the curve.
So then the next square, the square that's inside though, I like to make it exactly what it says, and this one has to be a 5 1/4 inch square.
Yes, we now have Creative Grids rulers as well on
Oh,
shelf.
that's right.
Everybody was asking about that. We did
You
get our shipment in.
really broke down and brought in creative
Yes.
ruler.
Well, I have to tell you about Creative Grids. They only come from one distributor, and they are not very pleasant to work with.
That's what we have heard.
Yes, but we're
See,
grateful
now
for
we're
them now.
Now that we're gonna put this out on YouTube and they're gonna watch it. Like we're cutting them off. No
Yeah, you
Creative Grids for
finally
them.
get-
Now, no
Watch
Creative
you
Grids.
with it,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. I think Creative Grids rulers are wonderful.
They are.
They are.
They are
Did
wonderful.
you get the curved one in?
No, no. I have to. I just got some basic ones in, but I'll be happy to get more. Just tell me what you need. I have the.
There's
we
even
have
a
the-
wish list.
We have the little check sheet for so you can check off now when you start collecting them, like you collect baseball cards. You just collect
I
your
have
rulers.
a bunch of rulers myself, but
But I find that I have a bunch of rulers that I never ever use. Or, you know. So now here's my flying geese. And you can see that there is no waste. And by going for the 3 inches instead of the 2 7/8, I know for a fact that I'll be able to get my 1/4 inch up here.
Yeah, and Gene again makes another good point. The Studio 180, if you do have an opportunity to take some of those
Yes.
classes,
They have and I use the Studio 180 wing clipper to trim up my flying
yes,
geese.
the Deb Tucker has some really good tools that make really good components for making quilts. That's a shout out. Studio 180 is great for that. Bonnie does a Studio 180 class up here,
Yeah.
and she does a nice job. But Studio 180, if yes, great stuff.
Yes.
Jean says she would like the curves creative grids ruler.
Okay.
It's because we use it in the Judy Niemeyer classes.
Okay. And we're gonna be doing another one of those because your beachfront's coming in or whatever that one's
yeah,
called.
we got people who like it.
So when you're sewing these,
Beach house.
yeah.
Beach house. Okay.
So by making them just that little tiny bit bigger, I should probably grab one of my blocks out of my box there. Do you see the box, Brenda? Right there, yeah. They're right there.
Ooh, it's fancy.
It is fancy. So here's the block. This right here was supposed to be 4 half square triangles. I think it looks so much better by having your square and a square. You can also look up square and a square, a chart, and you'll know how big to make your center square and each one of these out here so that you get the your finished size.
Okay, so
Don't look at that. I'll put my finger on it. Because
So according to the pattern, then you're saying that this would have been 4 separate pieces
Yes.
of fabric because you would have made your square here and put them together.
yes.
Okay.
And that's how they wanted you to do these flying geese up here. But you can see that I just think they're so much nicer. There's already enough small pieces in this anyway.
Yeah.
And Hannah and I did this yesterday. Hannah's my little granddaughter. She did a great job puzzle piecing this together while we worked, and she did some pressing for me too. But I feel that, I don't know if that's a great tip for anybody or not, but like Jean said, read the pattern and look at the pictures, if they have pictures, and try to find pieces that make it easier to put together. Because the fewer seams you have, the more precise it's going to be too. And that is another reason that I like to use the DecoBob for my piecing.
I didn't even think of that. The fewer pieces, the more precise. That's actually an interesting. That's
Yeah.
good.
That's
Was that
what I
it?
think.
Were you gonna keep going?
I don't know. Should I keep talking about it? I don't know when we talk about.
don't
I
know,
can
I
tell
think-
you about Brent and our vacation that he's been talking about for years.
We've been
Not
hearing
yet, no.
about it.
Yeah,
Dad's
I
been
know.
talking about for years. Me and Bradley came up with it last fall to do it,
Yeah,
and then Bradley broke his arm.
yeah. We can't talk about that.
But it's on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have to
we
tell you
have.
that since I've moved to Twin, I love that Four Pines Quilting has such a great online store because I use it a lot. And I'm just saying that I do because you would think that Twin Falls would have a quilt shop. It has 50,000 people in it, and the closest actual quilt shop is about 2.5 hours away.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And so I say to Brent, I think you should put a quilt shop in Twin Falls. Idaho.
No.
But I'm just really grateful. I just want to put a shout out to how quick you guys turn stuff around when you order online, and you got a great setup for that. The store is really nice online. It really
You're
is.
welcome.
Yes, that you can you blame Danny for that.
I know, and little Riley worked so hard and
Yeah.
Eddie to get everything out, and I
Yeah.
just think that that's
We
really
do, yeah.
good.
Now we have
Yeah.
15.
Okay, so what I've been trying to do. This was because I'm like, let's go big time. Let's sell on Amazon. Do you know what a pain in the butt it is to get a merchant account on Amazon?
I bet.
It can't be that bad. Everybody I know has one.
No,
when I
to
heard that
sell
they-
stuff, not buy stuff on Amazon.
Right. No, I know. Affiliate links?
No, not affiliate links.
Oh, okay.
Like when you look up, this is coming soon, probably not till the end of the summer because I got to go through the stupid verification process. But like, if you want to buy like Bendertex fabric,
Oh.
you can't buy it on Amazon because nobody's selling it on Amazon, and Amazon can't sell it because they only distribute to local. So what I'm trying to do is get us set up so that we can sell some of our stuff. Like if you're searching for
Yeah.
Creative Grids, for example, or Aurifil Thread.
2 Pines in Twin Falls.
No, I can tell you the story why it's Four Pines.
No, we're not having any Twin Falls.
Okay, well, anyway, we're Four
It
Pines
could be
Quilting.
Twin Peaks.
Because don't say that. Anyway, we became Four Pines Quilting because my other daughter Jennifer started a business, and her and her husband decided to move to Wisconsin. And there were about 5 or 6 ladies that were like, "Are you going to keep the store open? What are you going to do?" Da, da, da. And I said, "Well, I need another name." So Brent and I were in Concord for something, and we went to a bookstore, and I started going through quilting books.
Well, we're in Concord to register the name. Did we make a trip for that? Were they
Yeah, but
hanging out?
no, it was because I think Nellie had to do something.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
And so we said, let's go to the bookstore. And so we were looking. I said, well let's choose a quilt block because that'll be really easy for the logo. So we found that Four Pines quilt block in a book. And I said, well, that's perfect. I have 4 pines behind my house in a row, and I have 4 kids. So 4 pines
so much
would...
symbolism.
Yes. And then Bernie cut down one of the 4 pines in the back.
I think you cut down 2 of them. You
Yeah,
only saved 2 of them to put a hammock up.
Then we put a hammock up.
A
And,
hammock under a pine tree is
Yes.
not well thought out.
well, it was nice. It was okay, and yeah, and that's how Four Pines came about. And then I remember that there was a time when we were back on Crescent Street on the back there, and we said, well, we either need to close this place or move to the next step. And that's when we bought the property on Summer Street. The Summer Street property was I didn't really want to do that. But the building, that church was for sale, and Bernie kept saying, that's a great place for the quilt shop. And I said, no, it's not. That's a mess. It's been empty for 5 years. It's going to cost too much.
To understand, we went and checked the property out. I believe it was late February, March.
Oh, my gosh.
We went downstairs.
There was an ice
and
skating
it was
rink.
a ice skating rink because there was 2 inches of water in there.
Yes.
Holy.
And where the side was, they were trying to make a handicap entrance to downstairs, so they dug out the whole side
There
of the
was like a trench and it
building,
just
and all
poured
that
water.
water just went downstairs.
One of my favorite stories, though, we start reminiscing about this store, is I remember the first time I went to the New England Quilt Supply and bought fabric. And to this day, I remember this because I think it was like a $400 bill is what we ended up spending there. Like, I don't know if we can sell $400 worth of fabric. This is huge. You know,
Oh, that's right. When
we were
went.
just like all stressing about $400 worth of fabric.
Yeah, but I can remember the very first shelves we had were probably the width of that. There was a fabric there and down. But the only thing that we did was Thimbleberry's
Yeah.
Club. That's how we started with Thimbleberries Club.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I just remember buying the Thimbleberries collection.
And I just want y'all to know, I found a Thimbleberries Club kit in my stash. But I just think that with everybody's help supporting us and the goodwill that you bring us, it's just a wonderful place. It is just awesome.
Like I
Brent
said,
always says we're a community.
it's a
We're not
it's a community center. It's not a store. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And I had a hard time leaving it. I did want to leave Brent in charge. I don't know if anybody should
And
know
that's
that.
why you now get sci-fi
You
quilts.
know why he's a community center? None of us wanted him.
But you see, it works out good because nobody really wants to be in charge. So it's almost like some weird social experiment of how do you make a store that nobody's in charge of.
Well, I just really am so grateful for Brenda, and I'm so grateful that people finally bought into Kimberbell. I remember when Kimberbell first came out, we were on Summer Street, and it was not a big thing.
And we
then
would
all
buy
of a
them,
sudden,
and you would take the one book and you'd make everything, and everybody's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that or not. But now it's like awesome. So
Jean says Brent has done well.
he does
He has.
awesome. I
I
just
have
decided.
not. You can tell I have not missed too many meals.
We like
So
I have just
She's
decided
been desperate,
that
but none of them-
I'm just
none of
gonna
us want
let him have it, and he can make it work because that's what happens, and I'm grateful for that.
We are too.
yeah, well, I'm glad y'all put up with me.
Yeah,
I'm going on vacation. I'm
we're
gonna come
right
back.
on time.
And we're right on time. We're getting ready to end. And Eddie is
Are we
spinning. Are we going to spin? Are we getting ready to spin, Eddie?
Oh wow, Eddie, that is I love the penguin. Look at him go.
And today's $10 gift certificate is going to go.
This is when you're supposed to be dancing.
Oh, where's our music?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Music.
forgot.
Oh, yeah, but the wheels in the way.
That's okay.
Oh.
No, you're supposed to be dancing.
Oh, gee. Oh, John!
Oh,
Pamela!
Pamela's good.
Nice job on that wheel, Ed.
Oh,
Nice job.
I just realized that well,
I was expecting
Yeah.
Jean to win because
she's
She's
if you
very
see
active.
how much she's on there,
yeah.
Are we off air?
no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, every time she makes a comment, she
you get
gets
added
a
to the
name.
wheel, yeah.
Oh my god!
Now I'm waiting for somebody to come in and like game the system and start just putting like emojis every 2 seconds.
Eddie won't allow that.
Yeah, Eddie will.
You have to put words. I
don't
love that. I love the penguin in the middle
Okay.
too.
So anyway, Jean.
Nice job.
Oh no, Pamela. Next time,
Pamela.
yes, next time
Pamela's
Pamela's
a
in, you get a $10 gift certificate.
Win a chicken dinner.
Or if you're online, shoot me an email and we'll take it off your next order. I'm trying to remember
How
Pamela.
about our views? You still have that view contest going.
You mean this the like contest?
Oh yeah.
I'm
it was views. I think.
no, it was likes. And then okay, we'll do it again. We'll do it another week. I'm starting to think
That's
it's a
it,
sad. This is the last time. If we don't get anywhere with it, it's going to be like yeah. So if we get 20 likes, there will be.
You're not going to be here to run it.
Okay, so never mind. You have to wait.
Yeah, because I'm not running
So
it.
boost it, get everything boosted. When I come back, we'll run it again, and it'll be easy to do.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'll be giving them those turbo tips of Emma, my granddaughter, to get this thing.
Hashtag. That's a good one.
Hashtag, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hashtag give Seattle
Like,
Saturday
share,
Night.
subscribe.
There's no-
Like, share, subscribe.
Okay.
She says that every time,
Yes.
right at the end. Like, share,
Like, share,
subscribe.
subscribe.
Hasta la
Yay.
vista is how she ends hers.
Well, I have to get we.
Toodles!
Yeah, toodles.
Okay, I'll have to give us our official end. Are we ready? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans with Becky and the OG Becky and Brent. So on, and be excellent to each other.